the way we are going is not the proper way. The advisors will say, don't listen from those people. We're back to square one. Looking at your submission, where you said there is need for us to have this council, I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. It's a good idea. If it can give us a solution to the current impasse that this nation is facing. But are they ready to accept what they'll be told? That's the question. Are we able to convince them? If you are able to convince them, well and good, let's move on. But the core issue is there tolerance? Is there a spirit of give and take? Because the statements that are coming out now are very frightening. To say ABCD is ABCD. What is that now? What are you trying to create? You're creating nothing. Who suffers? The greater majority in Chama, in Shangombo, in Nisoka, in Bwembe. They are suffering. So, I would say, as you embark on this council, the names that you have proposed, I would suggest very strongly, don't use third parties. If anything, approach these people individually. Talk to them. Let them also give you their feelings, how they feel. Because, to be honest with you, I'm so shuddering. Because I've asked myself, is this the nation I suffered for? I sacrificed for this nation. And this is what is happening. Why? Where have we gone wrong? And now, that's why it's important for any political party to have set standards and rules. Who should be in the party and what are they there for? One, to understand the objectives of the party, the aims, and what the party stands for. In short, the party should have an ideology where to be built from. Having a mass party, yes, well, it's so good. But in a mass party, you bring very different ideas, different agendas. That will not help the party to grow. So, this is very critical. And what I'm saying is, your idea is noble. Your idea is noble. Your focus is noble. But it's important that you, the initiator of the idea, approach those people individually. Talk to them. Sell your idea to them. And if they buy into it, you have succeeded. So, if maybe I can just help to correct you in the piece that you sent. And this is hinging on tribalism. First and foremost, nobody applied to be what tribe wants to be. Nobody. It was God-given. God said, Edgar, you be Ngoni, Nguni, Tumbuka, or whatever. That was God's plan. God said, Bautis, you be Lamba, you be Tumbuka, you be this. I did not apply. Neither did I apply to God that I want to be born. It was by God's providence. And this is where all of us have missed the point. Why should you talk of another person because of his tribe? Look at him as a creation of God, created in the image and the likeness of God. If it is Tumbuka, it is God's plan. If it is in Senga, it is God's plan. It's not man's plan, but God's plan. And in any case, you brought up a point where you say, this country, this piece of land, so to say, which is an embryo in the womb of Africa.
You read it?
The inhabitants of this place
ran away.
They originated where? From God. And now, when I say, Tumbukas, Ongonis, no, they can't do this. You're making a great mistake. Because it is not you who has the destiny of that person. It is God. It is God who provides each and every one of us where we are to be. So, you referred to what happened at Mulungushi. I was physically there myself, 1967. And at that time, I was regional secretary from Pika in the northern province. When the late Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe was doing all this, I was there. And I can mention it to you, I was the only person out who did not support what the late Kapwepwe was trying to do. But the rest supported it. Hence, today the same people are castigating the Tongas. And yet, in 1967, the Bembas went to the Tongas to make an alliance to remove Kamanga as vice president. This is history, people must understand. I was there. Thank God I'm still alive. And we always talk about, I tell you, Mlam, to say, it's very sad. Those that are castigating Tongas today, they don't know the background. Kapwepwe had to call Mainza Chona, Elijah Mutenda. Let's trade the positions in Central Committee. Yes. Let us trade. Me and we at the Northerners, we get the vice president's position. You, the Southerners, you get the national secretary position. So they agreed. And that's how that Central Committee came to be. Others were so furious with what had happened. And then the Westerners went into an alliance with the Easterners. These people don't know. So these are things that must be brought out so that people understand the background where we are coming from. So it is pointless to talk about tribalism now, when we have intermarriages. Our children are going across the tribal borders. Our daughter, she's married from the northern province. Are you going to discriminate her because she's from eastern province and part from Zimbabwe? No. Let's coexist. So I want to say that in your presentation, it was northerners and southerners, westerners and easterners. And the result of that situation, if people do not know, when we went for the general elections in 1968, UNIT was defeated terribly in Western Province by ANC. So ANC had members of parliament from Western Province and Southern Province. 1968. And I remember I was also a member of parliament in that period. You don't know. No, I was a member of parliament. I was member of parliament for Ndora Rural West, which today is Mpongwe and Rufanyama. It is. So why today should you talk about a tribe? Why? Where is this idea coming from? So, I want you to have that in mind. But the point I'm trying to stress is this council that you are coming up with, let it be. I don't want people to challenge you. Let it have a legal framework. Let it have a legal framework to be supported by law. And if anything, let the registrar of society give it a blessing, because you have the strength. You'll be speaking from within, not from without. I emphasize. See these people individually. See Vijay, a seasoned politician. We have talked about Dr. Kaunda. He's the father of this nation. And I've been asking myself, why has the old man kept quiet?
Now we want him to talk.
We want him to talk.
Yes.
We want him to open up and shut up everybody. You can see, okay, old man Grace Zulu is not well. He's incapacitated. You can see Arabi. You can see him. I have my own reservation, my own personal reservation. But you can see him. If he can help the situation. Scott Awina, unfortunately, is also incapacitated. You saw him. Zukas, Simon Bar Zukas, that is another wealth of wisdom. He's a man of high integrity, because he had seen what this country had been from the days of Northern Rhodesia. A man who spoke in favor of Africans. He was deported. Do you know that? He was deported by the British government. They deported him out of Northern Rhodesia
To
England. He was confusing the Africans. So, and who else?
Meuna.
Yes, Aaron Milner, if you can be able to contact him across the river.
Where is he now?
He's in Harare.
Ah, okay.
He lost his wife some 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
But he does come in and out. You can see him. He too has an experience from the Euro-African, the colored people. He marshaled the colored people to join the freedom struggle. He too has got a wealth of experience. Before you start the borrowing, it's important you do this extensive consultation. At the end of the day, people will credit you as a young man with wisdom, as a young man with foresight.
I thank you, Elder. Thank you very, very much for this very rich history. I treasure so
And
much.
I said I would have gone in. It would take us 5 days. But I've just picked up a few to help you as you start this organization.
Thank you.
And my prayer is don't rush. Don't rush. Because this matter is very complicated. Because others have dug in it. They don't want to let it go. As they say, the members who are talking about tribalism, tukupoke chinshenda kunko kuna kirila. I can assure you, once you announce this, people say, that young man is intelligent. He has a foresight. And what we are talking about is not for ourselves, the future of these people. We are sending them to education for them to understand that when they come to take over from us, they will find a strong foundation. We are fighting for them. We are preparing for them, but they must find a country that is not divided on tribal lines. They must find a country built on a strong foundation of one Zambia, one nation.